After my husband stole $100,000 from me, I packed my bags and left. My daughter was throwing a birthday bash for him. I didn't cry when I found out. That's the part that still scares me. You'd think discovering your husband siphoned $100,000 from your personal account would break you. You'd expect screaming, shaking, something dramatic. But I just stared at the screen. Transaction after transaction, clean, calculated. Months of withdrawals I never noticed because I trusted him. Joint future investments, he used to say whenever I asked about finances. Turns out, the only thing we were investing in was his betrayal. I remember laughing, not because it was funny, because it felt unreal. Like I was watching someone else's life fall apart. And then my phone buzzed. A message from my daughter, Lily. "Mom, don't forget, Dad's birthday dinner tonight. Please don't be late. I worked really hard on this." I read it twice. Then I looked back at the bank statement. Then back at her message. And suddenly, something cold settled inside my chest. Dinner. A celebration. For him. The man who had just robbed me blind. You ever feel like life is mocking you right to your face? Because that's exactly what it felt like. I closed my laptop slowly, stood up, and walked to the mirror. I looked normal. Same face, same woman, except I wasn't her anymore. Before I tell you what I did next, tell me something. What time is it for you right now? And where are you watching from? I'm curious to know. Because at that moment, my entire world had just shifted, and no one around me had a clue. Especially Lily. That's the part that hurt the most. She adored her father. To her, he was charming, funny, dependable. To me, he was now a stranger. I grabbed my phone and called him. Straight to voicemail. Of course. Probably too busy preparing for his birthday spotlight. I tried again. Nothing. Funny how silence can feel louder than shouting. I didn't waste time after that. I walked into our bedroom, the one we shared for 18 years, and opened the closet. Suitcases. I hadn't touched them in years. We always talked about traveling. One day, he'd say. Well, today was that day. Just not the way he imagined. I started packing. Not everything, just what mattered. Clothes, documents, jewelry my mother gave me. Every item I picked up felt like a decision. Stay or leave. And for the first time in years, the answer was clear. Leave. Halfway through packing, I paused. There it was. A photo frame on the nightstand. Me, him, and Lily. A perfect little family. I picked it up and stared at his face. That smile. God, I used to love that smile. Now it just looked fake. "Who are you?" I whispered. No answer. Of course. I placed the frame face down. Some endings don't need closure. They just need distance. By the time I zipped my suitcase, my hands were steady. My mind, sharper than ever. No tears, no hesitation. Just a plan. I checked the time. 2 hours before dinner. 2 hours before I was expected to sit across from him, smile politely, and celebrate his existence. Yeah, that wasn't happening. But here's where it gets complicated. Because this wasn't just his party. It was Lily's. She had planned everything. Decorations, guest list, cake. She had no idea what her father had done. And I was about to walk out right before the biggest night she'd been excited about all week. So tell me, do I stay silent and play along for her sake? Or do I blow everything up and risk destroying her world too? Because the choice I made next changed everything. I didn't leave. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. After everything I just told you, you expected me to walk out that door, suitcase in hand, right? I almost did. My hand was literally on the doorknob. But then I pictured Lily, the way her face lights up when she's excited, the way she double-checks everything because she wants it to be perfect. This party, it wasn't about him for her. It was about love, and I couldn't destroy that. Not yet. So I let go of the door, and I unpacked my suitcase, piece by piece. Not because I forgave him, not because I was weak, but because I needed the truth to come out the right way. Not hidden, not messy, clear and unforgettable. By the time I finished getting ready, I looked exactly like the version of me everyone expected. Calm, put together, smiling. But inside, I was counting seconds. The restaurant was already buzzing when I arrived. Music, laughter, glasses clinking. Lily had gone all out. Balloons, a decorated table, even a custom cake with his name on it. "Mom!" She ran up to me, hugging me tight. "You made it! I was worried." I forced a smile. Of course I did. And then I saw him, standing there like the star of the night, laughing with friends, holding a drink, like he hadn't just stolen $100,000 from his own wife. It's amazing how normal people can look, right after they betray you. He spotted me and grinned. "Hey, you're late," he said, leaning in like nothing was wrong. I stepped back just slightly, not enough for others to notice, but enough for him to feel it. "Am I?" I said, calmly. Something in my tone must have registered, because his smile flickered, just for a second. Good. "All right, everyone," Lily clapped her hands. "Let's sit. Dinner's starting." We all gathered around the table. I sat across from him. Perfect view. Perfect timing. He kept trying to catch my eye. I ignored it. Let him wonder. Let him sweat. Dinner started. Conversations flowed. People joked, laughed, shared stories about him. "Man, you're lucky," one of his friends said. "You've got the perfect life." I almost choked on my water. Perfect. If only they knew. Halfway through the meal, Lily stood up. "Okay, before cake, I just want to say something." She looked at her father, smiling. My chest tightened. "Dad, you've always been there for us. You're the reason this family works, and I just wanted tonight to show how much we love you." Applause filled the table. I clapped too. Slowly. Because here's the thing. Every word she said, he didn't deserve it. And I couldn't sit there anymore pretending he did. So I stood up, chair scraping loudly against the floor. The room went quiet. Lily looked at me, confused. "Mom?" I smiled, soft, controlled. "Actually," I said, picking up my glass, "I think it's my turn to say something." All eyes turned to me, including his. And for the first time that night, he looked nervous. Good. I raised my glass slightly. "You're right, Lily," I said. "Your father is something special." A few chuckles. He tried to smile again. Didn't quite land. I tilted my head, looking straight at him now. 18 years of marriage teaches you a lot about a person, I continued. What they love, what they fear. Pause. Silence thickened. And what they're capable of hiding. Now the room felt different. People shifted in their seats. Lily's smile faded. "Mom, what do you mean?" she asked quietly. I didn't look at her. I couldn't. Not yet.
Because once I said this, there was no going back.
I reached into my bag, pulled out my phone, tapped the screen, and turned it toward the table. Bank statements, clear as day, gasps, whispers, and his face, color drained instantly. Maybe, I said softly, you can explain to everyone where the $100,000 went. Dead silence. You could hear a fork drop. Lily looked between us, confused. Dad? He opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. Nothing came out. Because there was nothing to say. And that's when everything started to fall apart. But what happened next? No one at that table saw it coming. If you think this is where he breaks, you're not ready for what he did instead. You know that moment when the truth is out and you expect everything to collapse instantly? Yeah, that's not what happened. What happened was worse. He laughed. Not loud, not dramatic, just a short, sharp laugh, like I had told a bad joke. And for a second, I actually felt confused. Did he really think he could joke his way out of this? Seriously? He said, shaking his head. You're doing this here? There it was. Not denial, not guilt, annoyance. Like I had inconvenienced him. The room stayed silent. No one moved. Lily looked at him, her voice small. Dad, what is she talking about? He sighed. Actually sighed. Then he leaned back in his chair, running a hand through his hair like this was some minor misunderstanding. It's not what it looks like, he said. Classic. I folded my arms. Then explain it. He looked around the table. All those eyes on him. Waiting. Judging. And finally, he spoke. I invested it. Rumors spread instantly. Invested? I repeated. Yeah, he said quickly, gaining confidence now. It was a business opportunity. A big one. I didn't tell you because you would have overreacted. Overreacted. I almost smiled. So you took $100,000 from my account without telling me, I said slowly, and your concern was my reaction? When you say it like that, how else should I say it? I cut in. Silence again. Lily stood up now, her chair pushing back hard. Wait, so you did take the money? He hesitated. That was all the answer she needed. Her face changed. You could literally see it. That moment when a child stops seeing their parent as a hero. Why? She asked. Not angry, not yelling, just broken. And that hit harder than anything. He looked at her, softening his voice. Sweetheart, I was doing it for us, for the future. No, I said quietly. Both of them looked at me. You did it for yourself. He clenched his jaw. You don't know that. I know you, I said. And that was the truth. 18 years. Patterns don't lie. Where is the money now? I asked. That's when he hesitated again. Too long. Way too long. And suddenly, I understood. You lost it, I said. Not a question. A statement. The room reacted instantly. What? Someone whispered. Lily stared at him. Dad? He didn't answer. Didn't need to. The silence confirmed everything. Gone. All of it. Just like that. And here's the thing. I thought I'd feel anger, rage, something explosive.
But I didn't. I felt free. Because in that moment, I realized something important. It wasn't just the money he lost. It was the last piece of trust I had left. And honestly, that was worth more. I picked up my bag. Slowly. Calmly. "Where are you going?" he asked, his voice finally cracking. I looked at him one last time. Not with love, not with hate, just clarity. "I'm leaving," I said. Lily turned to me, panicked. "Mom, wait, what about us?" I walked over to her, took her hands. "I'm not leaving you," I said softly. "I'm leaving this." She looked between us again, tears forming.
"You can come with me," I added gently, "but that choice is yours." He stood up now. "You're seriously walking out over this?" I paused, turned slightly, and for the first time that night, I let a little humor slip through. "Over this?" I said. "No." I picked up my suitcase that had been waiting by the entrance the whole time. "I'm walking out because I finally see everything clearly." And then I walked. No drama, no shouting, just done. Behind me, voices started rising. Confusion, arguments, reality setting in. But I didn't turn back. Because some endings don't need a final look. They just need a door and the courage to close it. So tell me, what would you have done in my place? Would you have stayed? Or walked away like I did? Because sometimes the hardest decision is the one that finally sets you free. If this story hit you in any way, don't forget to like and subscribe, because you never know which story might change the way you see your own life.